Good afternoon, good evening, students. I hope you are doing good. I hope you are staying safe as well. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to carry on with another lecture concerning history. As you can see, it will be about the same topic called the Great Depression or the Hungry 30s. You have to watch the previous video if you want to understand this one. Just to sum up, in the previous video, we have talked about the concept of the stock market. We talked about the stock market crash and then Great Depression. We made the link between the two. We have given the reasons. Okay. In this video, we are going to talk about the government response to face the Great Depression. When I say the government response, it's not the government of Roosevelt. It will be about the government of Hoover. Anyways, before I start, as usual, I invite you to like the Facebook page of this channel in order to be notified whenever I post something new, and also subscribe to my channel if it's not already done. That would encourage me to do more and also help you out during the period of exams. So, without any further ado, we shall start with the government response to face the Great Depression. As you all know, before the Republican Herbert Hoover became President of the United States of America, USA had been ruled by two other Republican presidents, known as Harding and Coolidge, who encouraged, both of them, by the way, encouraged the laissez-faire policy. I have already explained this. The laissez-faire policy, basically, it's the fact that the government shall not interfere in the business, okay? And President Hoover intended to carry on with the same policy as the two previous Republican presidents. The goal of President Hoover was simple. The purpose was simple. It was to end poverty in America. But then there was the stock market crash in 1929, right after his election. It was the beginning of a decade of despair and loss of faith in the American government, the Republican government more precisely. President Hoover and his administration tried to face the Great Depression with some serious actions, as you all know. So in this video, we are going to see what are these actions. The main actions, okay? The first action is the fact that he tried to bring back the trust and the optimistic feeling to the Americans about the American economy. Because when you have that kind of loss of trust, people will refuse to spend money. Therefore, the economy will keep decreasing or going down further and further. Then we have the second point, which is the fact that he also tried to convince people to limit their spending to help restore the economy. As you all know, when you have the economic crash, people must reduce their spendings in order to in order to avoid being extravagant as they used to be during the Roaring 20s. And he tried to convince these people, or the American citizens in general, to limit their spending. The third point is the fact that he told the wealthy, he tried to convince the wealthy as well to help the poor by providing them the necessary means of survival, which means food, shelter, etc. Because you should know that at that period, during the Hungry 30s or during the Great Depression, many became homeless. And it wasn't only the wealthy who were included. Even the employers in general, they were asked to not cut wages and dismiss workers as well. So because if you cut wages in general, people are going to get poor. They want to find something to eat. And if you dismiss them, it's even worse. So they become homeless. They can't pay the rent or whatsoever. This is what we call, according to Hoover, of course, the public-private cooperation. The fourth point to discuss is you should know that at the start of the Depression, President Hoover did not want to interfere because it was the, let's say, the core of being a Republican. It's the laissez-faire policy. You should not interfere with the business. And he believed that it will be fixed on its own. Okay, the economy, there is a crash of economy, but according to Hoover, this economy will be fixed on its own. But the situation worsened, okay? Then some emergency measures were taken. I have picked two of them, which are very, very important. The first one is the Agricultural Marketing Act. Basically, they intended to control the price of agricultural um, products or produce that, deflate due to overproduction of crops. You see, when you have this kind of overproduction, you will try to sell it at a low price. Therefore, they wanted to help them to rise the prices in order to rise as well with the American agriculture. This is why the administration helped them with storage facilities until the price of the produce rises again. In other words, they created what we call a federal farm board with the ability to give loans to the farmers to buy crops to keep the prices up. This was their own perspective on how to improve the agricultural section. Then second and the last point of these emergency measures, it's the Holy Smooth Tariff. Basically, it's the fact that they imposed high import and export taxes on agricultural goods, the American agricultural goods. It was mainly to protect the farmers who were recently destroyed by the surplus of produce and the Great Depression in general, because there was the dust storm, so the farmers suffered a lot. But this made things worse, not only in America or the United States of America, but also with the foreign countries. They did the same against America, so even other countries, foreign countries, did rise their tariffs or taxes against America, which made the Great Depression even worse. Okay, so all that wasn't enough according to the American people. Okay, and they quickly started to resent the Republican government and even accuse it for the stock market crash and, of course, the Great Depression in general. And this is why they lost the next elections of 1932 against Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It was a new decade for them, but it didn't put an end to the Great Depression. As I said in the previous video, it was the Second World War which put an end to the Great Depression. Anyways, if you liked the video, please share with your friends, with your classmates. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below or message me on my Facebook page. You will find the link on the description below, of course. And I tell you, stay safe. See you in the next video. Peace.